Yeah, I just like am not sure what to like transition her into a good like adult food to keep her trim, given that like, well, not, I know that she just recently like gained a lot of weight around her neck, which I
Okay.
know she's like a puppy still. She's 9 months,
Okay.
but she just recently got like a bit of a like fat neck and like has a little roll on the top of her back. And it was just like, oh, and she was like quite petite throughout like puppy to like 6 months ish. Everyone would always be like, oh, she's so small still, or just, oh, she's so skinny. Or, and then all of a sudden she just got like kind of almost not chubby, but like some baby fat on her.
Yeah. Did she get spayed recently?
Yes, at 6 months or so.
That will do it.
Okay.
Yep, that will do it. So you're
Okay.
probably seeing the effects of that, which is
Yeah.
fine. Just,
Mm-hmm.
like it is what it is. Just to
Yeah.
be aware of that is, spayed dogs tend to just gain weight really more easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. She's my first dog.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of learning as I go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're based like she has no allergies, she has no sensitivities, she has no real like health concerns.
No.
Pretty easy. So I know
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to stay like primarily in kibble because you're training her and doing like hand feeding stuff, right?
Yeah. We're a lot better now that we're in a different, like bigger space with the potty training. She was just like, I don't know, like we have really cold winters, and I don't know if she was just being like fussy about going outside or I don't know what it was, but she's a lot better now. So I'm a less little worried about like her potty habits, I guess.
Okay, got it. And where do you live?
Hmm. I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, very nice. Okay, I was just
Yeah.
talked to someone yesterday who's from Canada as well. I'm not
Okay.
sure where in Canada. Um,
Okay.
but we were laughing because like I was saying everything in ounces and he was like, how many grams? How many grams? So the entire time I was like on my phone with the calculator.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so what is she eating now?
She's eating TLC pet food. It's like an online
Yeah, yeah.
pet food. So it's mostly that. And I use a lot of like vegetable treats as well.
Okay. And what protein is the TLC?
Lamb.
Lamb. And she's doing okay with lamb?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so it sounds like she's pretty easy. You just want
Hmm.
something new as she's getting older. And I know you had mentioned also like maybe mixing in some canned food and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
just like, boost the kibble and give some hydration, which is always a good idea.
Hmm.
So, with the food, TLC is like an okay food. It's like nothing that I really love.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of good options in Canada. So
Okay.
I don't know, like, do you have like a monthly ideal budget for food that you want to stick to?
Not really.
Okay, and it helps
I'm
because
kind
she,
of okay with how much does she weigh?
yeah.
Like 22 pounds
Okay.
probably.
So
So
she's
like if she's not eating a whole lot, so like if her food is a little bit more expensive, like we can swing it for sure.
yeah, okay, totally. It's
Hmm.
the big dogs that cause issues.
Exactly.
So she's doing well on lamb. A great kibble is the Farmina lamb and blueberry.
Okay.
And it comes in like three, they have different lines. So they
Okay.
have an ancestral grains line, which is obviously grain inclusive. Then they have a pumpkin line, which is grain free. And the pumpkin line is really good for dogs who need like the extra fiber, like the GI support. So probably not necessarily her. And then
No.
their prime line is grain, it's grain free, but it's their highest meat inclusion
Okay.
line, so their lowest carb line. Um,
Okay.
and you can get the lamb in all three of those. What I usually recommend if she's coming from a food like TLC is start with the ancestral grain line because it
Okay.
won't be as rich.
Okay.
With Farmina, it is like the way that they make it is they add the oils on last, and the oils are like very fresh and they remain very intact. So what that means is some dogs who aren't used to eating fresh fats like that may get like gassy or just have like mildly loose stools for like the first couple weeks, and then it
Mm-hmm.
resolves itself.
Okay.
But I see a lot of people, they switch and then they're like, my dog is farting a ton and it has like softer stools. Like, I'm going to switch off this food. And it's like, just wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I always recommend start with the ancestral grains because they'll be more close to what she's eating now. And
Okay.
then if you wanted to bump her up to the prime line in the future, that would kind of be like the next step up.
Okay.
Um, and their food formulas are very similar across proteins. So a lot of people feed their food rotationally.
Okay.
They have a few different options to choose from, and they have a really great seafood line as well. So that
Mm,
could be something to try for her.
for sure. I'm sure she'd love that.
Yeah. Another option that I know they have in Canada is a canna, and they also have a lamb kibble that is grain inclusive, and they have grain free ones as well, but I know some people are sensitive about that. It's part of their wholesome grains line, and that would also be another kibble that I think she would transition to well, considering what she's eating now.
Okay.
And like I say, like go to lamb first because you're having success with it now, and then you can try other proteins as well. And a can of stool
Mm-hmm.
is similar to Farmina. They make their food so they're meant to be fed rotationally, so you shouldn't have
Okay.
to transition if you wanted to switch up like the proteins or the formulas.
Okay.
So like I always suggest, like if you have a dog that's like pretty easy like you do,
Mm-hmm.
it's like find some like like 3 to 5 foods that work for her and that you like, and just like switch between them and rotate between them.
Okay.
So that would be a good option too. Um and yeah, I definitely know that you can find those in Canada.
Oh,
And
for sure.
they're pretty similar price to each other as well.
Okay.
She's just perched up there.
I know. She looks so sad.
You have a little tummy ache. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. We're
And then the,
staying at some friends too, and they have chickens, and she's been eating chicken poop.
yeah, yep,
So I don't know if she had too much.
a little too much poop. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop her, but she's a
It's
beagle.
so
So
hard. It's so hard.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my dog, who's a spaniel, so like similar with the goose poop at the park. It's
Oh,
never ending.
yeah.
Annoying.
Yeah. So gross.
And then so she's 9 months. So for her, like being a smaller breed, I wouldn't be so concerned about like puppy versus adult food. The Farmina foods come in a puppy, but their adult foods are also all life stages. So you don't really have to
Okay.
worry about it.
Okay, cool.
And then the can of foods are also all life stages. Their puppy options are very quite limited. So also that's another one that you
Okay.
shouldn't have to worry.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions about that?
No.
Cool. And then for wet food you can be more flexible with because it generally has like less carbs and junk in it as it
Okay.
is. And so I always tell people like that's where you can be more flexible with like buying like cheaper canned food, um and just kind of like doing something that fits your needs. I
Okay.
always like feeding grain-free canned food, and then also food that doesn't have like any like potatoes or like peas or stuff in it, just getting as close to as much meat content as you can. And like even Purina sells foods that fit that bill, which I know.
Okay.
I know. Um like some of the Purina One grain-free canned foods are like super, super, super low carb. I fed them to my foster dog. She had zero issues.
Okay.
And like you can just buy that at the grocery store. And I know you guys don't have
Interesting.
Costco, but the
We
people
have
who make,
Costco.
oh, you do have Costco?
Yeah.
Oh, so Costco sells an awesome canned food that is
Okay.
gluten free. It has some peas in it, but like a very low amount. It's turkey. At least in the States,
Turkey.
it only comes in turkey. but it's
Okay.
only like 90 cents a can and it's good food.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Interesting.
would check that out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have like a big Costco here. It has like gas and everything. So
Hell
they
yeah.
might carry some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely look that up. That's like
Do you have
such
like
a big deal.
Costco treats recommendations?
It's so hit or miss. So
Yeah.
a lot of the treats they have, at least in the States, are like kind of junky.
Mm-hmm.
They do sell the big box of like the big biscuits, which like I don't love giving my dog like stuff like that because like wheat and carbs. But if you're one of those people where it doesn't bother you, then that's
Okay.
like a great value. Um,
Okay.
they have great dog beds. I'll tell you that.
They do.
Yes, my dog
Durable.
loves them.
Yeah, they're great.
They're awesome. And then like the other treats I've seen there have just been really gross, like the vegan strip stuff and like milk
Oh yeah.
bones, which like I don't recommend that stuff.
No, that seems yucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there's also stuff at Costco that is really beneficial to use as toppers. So you can get like tinned fish, the ones that come in water with no salt added. So just be mindful because a lot of them come in oil or have salt added. So see at your store if they have in water, no salt added.
Okay.
That's a great addition to Kibble. And then like sometimes they have bone broth that is also unsalted. I've
Okay.
seen that at one Costco. That can be another good one. Trying to think what else. And then also like if you just buy green leafy vegetables in bulk there and
Mm-hmm.
you can just blend it up and freeze it in ice cube trays so it doesn't go bad. And
Mm-hmm.
those are really good additions as well. You can kind of make like a doggy smoothie. So like anything dark and green, like kale, spinach, broccoli, like you know you can just buy like the bags of like
Mm-hmm.
stuff there
Mm-hmm.
or just like frozen blueberries are really good too, or fresh blueberries, but it's hard to with the Costco size, it's hard to eat them all before they go
For
bad.
sure.
Um,
Big time.
unless of course you're splitting them with your dog.
Exactly.
But yeah, you can find some like good hidden gems at Costco.
Okay.
And then,
Interesting.
yeah, the other thing is, oh, did you have a question?
Well, just more of like the bone broth in general. Like I guess I like held off on it because I didn't know exactly what to look for, but generally just like bone broth unsalted should be okay.
Yeah, so you just want nothing that has salt added, for
Okay.
obvious reasons. The sodium content can just, it does the same things to dogs as it does to us. And
Mm-hmm.
then be mindful, some have onions and garlic in it. You don't want that as well.
Okay.
So the ones that like the recipe is literally just like bone broth, and some will have vegetables without onions and garlic.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's good for their joints. And like with her, I know she's not going to be a big dog, but still being an active dog as a beetle, like they can still get like patella and elbow stuff. So
Okay.
it's good for, prevention and like
Okay.
maintenance. Yeah. And then the thing that I tell everyone is like, no matter what type of food you're feeding, whether it's like the worst kibble or the best raw diet, is adding a source of omega-3 to their food. So you can do it through adding fish, like small fish are the oiliest ones. Think like sardines, anchovies, smelt.
Melts.
Yeah, like those small oily fish. You like, I'm sure you can
Okay.
picture it. Those
Hmm.
are great. I mean, or otherwise you can just buy capsules.
Okay.
I don't love like the big like jars people get with like the pump, you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because oil's really sensitive to the environment and it can turn
Hmm.
really quickly. And like, I don't love stuff just sitting in plastic, especially something like oil. Um,
Yeah.
So the capsules, it's staying fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's obviously like dog specific oil like omega-3 capsules.
So you can get the human kind. It's usually cheaper to
Okay.
buy the ones for humans.
Okay.
Obviously, it won't have the pet dosing on it, but a quick Google search will bring up, like all these charts by weight, and you can see
Okay.
the appropriate dosing for her. And the dosing that you'll find is usually going to be conservative. Omega-3 is something that you can overdose on, but when you Google it, it will usually say like a recommended dose and then like a maximum. So just make sure you're obviously not going over the maximum.
Okay.
But yeah, you can buy like the generic human kind, just like the generic kind,
Okay.
which is
Interesting.
that's what I do for Rudder. The one thing I'll warn you is one time I bought the generic ones from Target and I
Mm.
didn't realize that they came with essential oil flavoring in them.
Oh.
It wasn't on the label. I just could smell it when he would break it open and then I saw
Oh.
it in the ingredients. So just look for like silly stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the stuff targeted towards pets, they just jack up the price and it's kind of gimmicky and it's literally the exact same thing.
Yep.
Um, and do you think she would eat the capsules? Because otherwise you can use the liquid, but
Probably.
yeah,
She eats all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, they
she
usually
eats too much stuff.
yeah, they usually don't like if especially if it's in kibble, it's just like another kibble. And it doesn't
Yeah,
taste like anything. I'm
no.
surprised that he even chews them. Like most dogs just swallow
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. It's very thorough.
I know, right? He has to investigate every little bite.
That's funny.
um and then the other note is because you've noticed her gaining a little bit of weight, which she looks fine to me, but just something to be mindful of is
My sister has a really like trim beagle. It's just like she's so chubby. And I'm like, oh no.
it's hard. Like you always think your dog is fit, but then like a super fit dog of the same breed comes along and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. He was really big when she got him. So he like did a huge transformation. So it's just like very noticeable.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
cool. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good for that dog to
I,
land with your sister.
I know.
Um, but what I was gonna say is the Farmina in a can of food is probably higher calories than what you're feeding now. So it's good
Okay.
news because you'll be feeding less of it volume wise. But just make sure you're mindful of that. So don't go off of the suggested feeding guidelines because it's like always way too much. I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yeah.
So on the back of your TLC bag, it will say how many kcals per cup. Um, or in Canada, it'll be like kcals per serving. And
Okay.
then, just do the calculation of how much she's eating. So you'll know how many calories she's eating per day. And then when you
Okay.
get the new food, look at the new calories per serving and just do it that way. So she gets the equal amount of calories.
Okay.
And like it's same with humans, not all calories are created equal, so like you may see her fluctuate one way or the other, but that will be a good starting point at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I had gotten the Farmina cans before. They were on sales on a website.
Oh,
So I
nice.
got them and I was like, I don't know like how much to give her by replacing the kibble with that. Like she absolutely loves the Farmina can. Like
It's so good, isn't it?
yeah, Gage was like, I'd eat that.
Yeah,
That
it's
looks
literally real food.
yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
I
um
know.
Yeah, so you can do the calorie thing for that. The
Okay.
other thing is, I don't think Firmina has this, but I was just looking on Purina's website, and Purina has this thing that like one of their cans of food is equal to 1 cup of their dry kibble. But the
Mm,
Firmina cans are smaller, but they're also like really dense, like they're very caloric.
yeah.
I would just do the calorie swap and make your life easier.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
And if you're just using it as like a topper or a mix-in, just like take out some kibble. It doesn't have to be a total exact science.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like
Okay.
sometimes people get so hung up on like making sure every meal is perfect.
Mm.
Like they're fine.
Yeah.
Like they're okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then something else is I know in Canada you guys have Primal, like the brand Primal,
Okay.
and they sell really good goat's milk products. So that could be something to consider too if you just wanted to like give her something interesting. I wouldn't feed it like a daily thing because they can become dependent on it. It helps balance their gut microbiome. So
Okay.
if she ever goes through an episode of like weird poops, or if she has to take a round of antibiotics for some reason, that
Mm.
could be a really good supplemental thing to feed her.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's good and it's cheap, and like you can just buy one of them and feed it to her and just finish it off, and then like probably just like one of those a month. I always say like a week out of the month if you want it to be a regular thing.
Okay.
But they love the flavor too, the taste.
Probably. Whenever we give her like dairy stuff, I don't know. There was one time I got like, I don't know if it was just because it was not of like a good quality, but it was like an aged cheese bone. And
Oh, the
she was,
Himalayan cheese.
yeah, and she would like throw up bile. So I
Oh,
stopped giving her like,
bile.
yeah, like she would like chew it and it would make like her bile like thick and she would just throw that up, like nothing else.
I wonder if it was like giving her like reflux or something. So those chews are very different. So like normal dairy, like when people give their dogs like yogurt and cheese and all that, that can mess dogs up. But the goat's milk is biologically appropriate for dogs in the sense that
Okay.
it's highly digestible and it's near nutritionally complete. Whereas like cow's milk is not meant for dogs.
No, like whenever she said like sometimes I'll give her just like a little tiny like few kibble pieces of yogurt just to give it that like extra in like a Kong or something. But like yeah, she's never like done well on like yogurt or
Yeah, I know. And
I
like
was always like
Rudder always like my dog does fine with it. Like when he was a puppy, I'd stuff some of his Kongs with cottage cheese, which would also just
mm.
gross me out. But um I know for a lot of dogs it can, gives them stomach upset, and it's really just not the best for them either.
Mm.
So yeah, like a lot of people give their dogs like cream cheese and stuff too, and I'm like, oh. I know. It's like
Yeah,
to think
that's
about.
yeah, no thanks.
I know. Um, any other questions with our last couple minutes?
Do you have any like Kong stuff that you like suggest? Like are most veggies okay and like some treats and
Yeah, totally. Like
okay.
veggies, treats, like baby food, like meat baby food is a good one, or just
Oh
vegetable
wow.
baby food too. They love.
And
Um,
baby food, that's funny.
I like soaking freeze dried raw food and then using that to stuff the Kong, because when you soak it in water, it becomes like a paste and then you can stuff it.
Okay, freeze-dried raw food?
Mm-hmm. And you can also use the canned food too.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, that's like, so if you wanted to give her like, I don't know, like a half can once a day or whatever as part of her daily meals, you could just feed that portion to her out of the Kong every day, just like as a good activity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing this is the same in Canada, but Kongs are way cheaper on Amazon, and they sell like knockoff ones that are also way cheaper. So I bought 7 of them. I just on Sunday stuff them all and just have them in my freezer for the week.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I also have another question before I forget. So,
Yeah.
like, bones generally, I don't know what to give to her as like a treat or like a rainy day. Like, I just like, there's so many out there, and like, cooked ones freak me out because I don't want her to eat a big
Yeah.
piece. But
No.
like I know raw ones can be like messy or like I just don't know how to give to her. So if you have any suggestions on like bones that she could.
Yeah. So yes, stay away from cooked and smoked for sure. Primal also makes or sells really good raw marrow bones that I've never seen splinter or chip, not even when I had my lab golden mix.
Okay.
Um, and they don't come with a bunch of like meat on the outside, so they're not super messy.
Okay.
But if you're worried about the mess, you can give it to her like in your bathroom on the tile floor, like pick up the rugs and then you can just mop the floor afterward. Or if she likes her crate, just put her on the naked crate pan, and then that's also really easy to clean as well.
Okay, cool.
For like my dog, I just use his place command and I just tell him to stay on place and I put a towel down and then I just chuck the towel in my washing machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely work on place, but like duration is definitely not like fully there yet.
Yes, that's the hardest part, especially with a puppy.
Yeah, especially no patience.
I know, right? They're like,
So
get me off of here.
yeah.
Yeah, she's already like, oh, the P word? No.
Yeah.
I'm out of
Yeah.
here.
She's like, we're not eating right now.
No.
No.
And you can also get like raw marrow bones sometimes from a butcher, and they'll like
Okay.
usually way cheaper there. They'll sell them
Yeah.
for people who want to use them to make soup. So you can ask for like soup bones, and that's more their language.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll try and give you like femur bones or bones that are too soft and they can chew and like get a large piece off. You want like the marrow bone that's like very sturdy, and they work and get all of the marrow out and they love it, and it's really good for them too.
Okay, cool. And like what like I know that like bones are like a treat, like a rainy day thing, but like what is like the frequency that is like acceptable?
So it kind of depends on your dog. Like they're great for
Okay.
cleaning teeth. So some people will get a big bone and just give it to their dog for 15 minutes every day for just like a dental maintenance thing. But if you want to like save it for a rainy day, that could work too. The
Okay.
thing is with the marrow bones, start slow because marrow
Mm-hmm.
is super fatty. It's basically just
Mm-hmm.
fat. And for
Yeah.
some dogs, that much fat can give them like not terrible diarrhea, but loose stools.
Yeah.
Um, so like give her like a 15-minute chew session on one, see how she does. Like Rudder can eat a big one and be totally fine. It just really depends on the dog. So
Okay.
you'll know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any other questions on that?
Awesome. No, I don't think so. I think that's everything.
Okay, well, email me if you have any questions. Like, email support for forever is free because you paid for this. So if you're ever at the store and you see a brand you've never seen before and you want my opinion, just like hit me up. I'll be happy to help you. And then definitely just keep me updated on how the transition goes.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, it was great meeting you.
It was great meeting you too.
Thank you. Well, enjoy your weekend and hopefully I'll hear from you soon.
Yes, thanks so much.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.